You're listening to the REITE Club podcast, where the focus is all about helping you grow your real estate investment portfolio and live the life you want to live. Come grow with us and join our community at thereiteclub.com. And now your hosts, C.A.R.E and Alfonso Salemi.
What are some of the common mistakes that you commonly see, or maybe you're talking your realtor or your investor partners or investor clients off the ledge and going, no, I've seen this before. Don't get caught in that trap. What are some of the tips that you offer?
The most fundamental principle, which for me, is focus on the numbers and remove your emotions, because the numbers will tell the story of whether or not the property that you're analyzing is worth to buy as an investment property. Yes, it looks nice, it looks beautiful, it has its features near the location, but number one, does it meet your cash flow goal? Number two, does it provide opportunities to increase your highest and best use of that property? Number three, will it give you multiple streams of income, like opportunities? For example, can you create a legally secondary unit in the property? Can you convert from 4 units to 5 units or to 6 units or whatever, right? So always focus on the numbers, look at creatively opportunities on properties, and then go from there. That's the most important thing. And I've seen a lot of investors saying, oh yeah, it's great, it's at a great location, and it will meet my cash flow goal, but they don't do the numbers, because number one, they don't know how much rent they will charge for their unit the property that they're renting. So how can you meet your cash flow goal if you don't know what the rents are in the neighborhood? Right?
No, absolutely. You
Right?
definitely won't get there. You need to know the numbers. You need to be able to, but you also need to be able to pull the trigger and have analysis paralysis when the numbers work, because at some point they're going to work, and you've got potentially a very short window to make it happen. And Michael, I do want to go back, because you kind of hinted at it and you mentioned it a little while back. And it sounds really interesting, but the highest and best use and the most cash flow, you talked about some packages that you offer, or different things that you can boost cash flow. Can you share what that sounds? I think I heard tech package, but maybe just give us some ideas of, like, you've got a property, how to maximize the cash flow. What do you do as an investor?
What I do as an investor, what I do sometimes in one of my vacant units right now, in my townhouse right now, what I include is free internet, just to entice people to come, right? And they'll pay the rent at the price I'm looking for, right? So that's one example. Another example is the technology services packages, where you know those bundle packages that you get from Rogers and Bell. You get internet, your landline or cell phone, and cable. That's a technology services package that you can charge to your tenants, where you also charge them for the administrative fee, because you're doing all the work. All they do is just move in and enjoy what they have. You have the TV there, you have the internet router there, all that stuff is there, the phone is there, the landline is perfect. So
are you supplying them with a TV?
Not in my case, but I've seen.
Okay. Cool.
But I've seen investors do that.
And the only reason I'm asking, because I was thinking, and this is maybe just more so for multifamily, but let's just say you've got, somebody that's been paying, I don't know, half price because they've been there forever. You could go to them, you can't really raise the rent, but I've always thought this was a really good idea. And you're kind of like on the same line of what I was thinking. Could you offer them a big screen TV for rent, quote unquote, for whatever amount of time that they need? And I don't know how much is the big screen TV, but is it enough that you can say it's going to be $100 more or whatever it is? Could they say yes, and then you could boost your NOI? Could it work?
It's all about offering value. Like, for instance, Boxing Day or in January, prices for big screen TVs are like $200, because as you know, the retail companies, they won't get rid of the old inventory, right? The old TVs, big screen TVs. So might as well take advantage of that. So it'll cost you $200, but the ROI on that will be astronomical. Will be beyond $200, right?
Right.
And long term, right? If you have that long term tenant, having providing that type of value will entice you to keep a long term tenant for a long time, for sure.
So what other ideas do you have? So you've got the package, you've got the TV. Maybe just share, like, I don't know, like if you can share like 5 or 6 or more for those listeners, that'd be awesome.
Okay, another one is you can charge for parking. If it provides that opportunity, charge for parking. at a certain rate. Also, you can charge for storage fees. If you have a shed or if you have a garage, you can rent that garage space or those spaces to somebody who wants to store their vintage car or their personalized items, something that is of sentimental value. Those are great opportunities too. Also, you can, if you have a multifamily property, I heard this a while back when I started learning about real estate investing, is that a company can pay you a certain, like a royalty fee for putting a satellite on top of the property. That's a money maker there too, right? Also, you can charge if you have a multifamily property which offers laundry, you can charge that too as well. That's another piece for income stream that you can think of as well. As well, you can offer another one I heard as well is where you can offer a grocery delivery service or a laundry service, a dry cleaning service, right? To your tenants.
I love that.
Right.
I love that. What a creative way of finding different ways to pull revenue out. Rent is just one revenue stream, but like you mentioned, all these other services that is really underscored by the value you provide. So flipping that on its head, what's one of the biggest expenses that maybe it's unavoidable? Maybe, if you don't do normal maintenance or something like that, it's going to cost you more, but you are seeing either yourself personally or through your investing clients that it's a cost and you're like, just be prepared for this. I know it sucks, but something that's recurring or maybe something you can avoid to say we found different ways to reduce that, right? Because that's always about more revenue or less expenses.
Yeah. The most I've seen based on my experience and talking to my other investor clients is appliances, damaged appliances, or tenants leaving damages behind when they move out, which requires cleanup. That's something you can't avoid. You have to clean up, like repaint or drywall and all that stuff. It's unavoidable. But they pay for it at the end of the day. They have to pay for the damages, right? So what I've been seeing a lot lately is mostly appliances, like appliances that go down, or plumbing issues as well that need some fixing and stuff like that. That's what I've been seeing. Great.
Yeah, appliances are like probably the thing I get the most calls about. Appliances and like some kind of leaks somewhere, plumbing issues. But I do want to go back to the income, TV income or laundry income, or if you're offering these services. In Ontario, you don't want that to be part of the lawful lease. So you got to separate it and put it on different contracts. Same thing with parking, separate contract, not an addendum, not in the lease. I think that's just really important because as soon as it becomes lawful and something happens, I mean, you're kind of stuck with it as is. And you're going to have to abide by the guidelines and the rules if your property was built in Ontario after, or before 2018, and who knows if that's going to change down the road. But if you want to increase parking and it's not part of the lease, you can increase it because it has nothing to do with the RTA. Same thing with TVs, same thing with laundries. And I think it's just important that we go back to that and mention it because I can see a lot of people putting it on their lease. I would not put it on, I'm not a paralegal, I'm not a lawyer, but I would not put it on my own lease in Ontario.
What I tell my clients is separate the rental stuff in the lease and the other stuff in a separate agreement, contract.
Yeah.
Bar none. Pets, the technology services packages, as you mentioned, snow removal. Snow removal is another thing I offer to my tenants as well. So if you keep them in separate contracts and your tenants sign them, that's legally binding for that. But separate the rental stuff from the other miscellaneous stuff, right?
And even here's the thing, and another little tip. I don't know if you agree with me, Michael. You can let me know. But if one of your tenants in a multi-unit is going to do snow removal, do not discount their rents. Just do a separate agreement and pay them separately if you want. That's cool. Don't put that in the agreement because if ever they don't work out or they stop, that lease doesn't go back up to what it would have been regularly. So no discounting the leases. Separate agreement, has nothing to do with the RTA. If you want to pay them $50 rather than reducing it by $50, and it's got to be separate transfers, separate transactions.
Keep everything separate. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Awesome. So what are you working on these days, Michael?
Well, dealing with bidding wars right now for investors and regular buyers, looking for opportunities especially for my multifamily investor clients. Looking for off-market opportunities is not easy. It's very, very difficult. You have to really headhunt a lot and talk to people and connect with property managers and other people, or even past clients or leads if they have any opportunities. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of offers, submitting of offers and bidding wars. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Thanks for listening to the REITE Club podcast and joining our community of real estate investors online at thereiteclub.com, where the focus is about helping you grow. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks from your hosts, C.A.R.E and Alfonso Salemi.